Hello, everyone. I'm Duncan Gilman, the Dean of Students at Splash Media U. On behalf of all of us here at the school, I want to welcome you to our live tour. We do this weekly so that students have a chance to talk with us, interact with us directly, whether you're a prospective enrollee looking at the program as an opportunity to grow your career, or you're already a student getting started and need a little help knowing your way around so that you can use the school most efficiently, get the most out of it. What we're going to do is spend most of our time today in the program itself, and in a second I will switch over to the screen to show you the view from a student's perspective so you'll know exactly what to expect when you log in. I want to quickly give you a couple of updates about what's going on in the school and around the social media in general. I talked recently about our Instagram course coming up. We're very excited about that. That'll be coming up a little bit later this summer. We're editing the classes now, and hopefully we'll have that up for you as an individual certificate, at least at first, in the very near future. So, of course, excited about that. We also talked about a couple of updates to some classes that we just recently refreshed. The Twitter class that talked about direct messages, that's a recent refresh for us. One new feature is that you don't have to be following another Twitter user in order to get a direct message from them. So in other words, if you are a brand and you want to send some private information about someone's account, if you're a company, you want to send some private information about someone's account to a customer, you don't have to say, hey, follow us in order to send that information. People and brands now have an option to turn on in their Twitter account whether or not they would like to be able to receive direct messages from anybody, or whether or not you still want to have that same permission-based system in order to get direct messages through Twitter. So a little bit of an update to what we've already posted as a refresh, just to keep in mind, and I'll make some notes. And that's what I'll be doing in all of our classes. I'll make notes on the class page itself so that you'll know if there's something that has changed since that update. You'll have all the information there in front of you. So let's not get too far into that. I want to go ahead and switch over to the school now so I don't take up too much of your time. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over now. I would love for you to ask your questions. So as we go along, if you have questions, use the Q&A window. If you don't know how to get there, I'll explain it at the end. If you're watching us via YouTube or via the website, you might not have the Q&A window readily available, but I'll go ahead and explain that at the end and show you how easy it is to find. But right now, I'm going to share my desktop with you so you can see the view as a student, and open up the school here. This is the main page, the home page of Splash Media U Master Social Media Certification when you log in. One quick difference you'll notice, we have students who are enrolled in the Master Social Media Certification, which includes these 5 platform courses: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, blogging, and YouTube. If you're enrolled in an individual certificate, you will just see that one platform. So if you're enrolled only in the Facebook certificate, you will just see Facebook. You'll notice we have a couple extra options for the Master Social Media Certification enrollees. Those include the Foundations and Strategy courses, as well as 4 additional seminars and the final exam. Those 3 things are not visible, not available to the individual certificate holders. But you will also, when you enroll an individual certificate, you'll get a little bit of a combination of a Foundations class. So we do include some extra material there from a marketing strategy perspective, so you have some of that great material that we provide here in the Foundations course. But this is the view, again, of a Master Social Media Certification student, which includes our 5 main platform courses. You see the same information as you scroll down the page, and what I would hope you notice is that we've made this program as user-friendly as possible. This is the idea here is to create just as straightforward as possible an experience for our students, so that you know exactly where you're going when you click and what the next item on your to-do list is. For example, I'll go ahead and click into the Twitter course and I'll show you that. And again, I could have gotten there through the course drop-down menu as well. Same menu up here as you saw down the page. So in the Twitter course, we've laid it out in chronological order. You're free to skip around. You can watch these classes and take the courses in any order that you like. But we've put them just straight down the page here so that it's super easy to find every single class you want to watch. So we've got the basics covered at the top. Those are things on Twitter, for example, like tweeting, following, what's a retweet, what's a hashtag, the basic things you need to know before you get started on a platform. Same thing on Facebook, on Twitter, and YouTube. We cover the basics first so that you feel comfortable on that social media channel before you continue. And then we've laid it out with these 5 tactics beyond the basics to get to know the platform. It's really about how you listen for customers, how you build community, how you broadcast to that community, how you create dynamic, interactive content, and then how you convert that community into paying customers and clients. And we've structured each of our courses just like this, with these 5 tactics: the listening, the building community, broadcasting, content conversion, so that you can get used to approaching social media platforms in the same concise way. What that does is help you approach platforms that we don't cover. So we currently don't have a course for Google Plus or Foursquare or Snapchat yet. However, if those are platforms that there is benefit, that have benefit for your business because your consumers are there, your customers are there on those platforms, you can take those same tactics and apply them elsewhere. We call these tactics together, these 5 things, the tactical wheel. And we shape it like a wheel that you can imagine in your mind, because it doesn't stop when you get to conversion. When you get to the convert stage, you're still trying to bring back those customers again, to have repeat customers, to get them to engage and refer you via word of mouth to their friends. And you still want to be able to come back to the beginning and listen to their needs and pay attention to what they're looking for and what they need in a business and from your products and services. So this is a cycle. It's a circle. It's a tactical wheel consisting of these 5 different strategies. And that's how we've broken up the courses, so that you have these tactics represented by these features from the platform. So for example, in the building community on Twitter, you have a class on how to find people on Twitter, how to find friends, how to unfollow, Twitter activity tab. So everything that's involved in building a Twitter community, you'll find in the Build Community section. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these so you can see what it looks like. Again, each of these links is a class. You'll notice some of them are gray, some of them are blue. That's because the program shows me which classes I've seen and which ones I haven't seen yet. Let's find one. I usually like to demonstrate this one here, how to use Twitter lists. So when you click on that, the first thing you'll get is a set of objectives for this particular class. So our little frozen screenshot here is exactly what you'll learn in this typically 4 or 5 minute class. So in this particular one, I'm going to learn what a Twitter list is, how to create one, and some common uses for them. And when you're ready to play, you just click play. And I think I'm actually teaching this one. So you'll see my face in a second. I just turned the sound down because we didn't get the sound. Right here at the beginning, I'm seeing those objectives again, so I know what my objectives are. And there's me teaching this class. You'll notice that I've got a laptop there in front of me. I'm demonstrating in real time everything that I'm talking about. So you'll see me on my laptop here build a Twitter list and show you how to use it. And everything I'm doing here will pop up on the screen behind me. Occasionally we take this screen behind me full screen so that you can see it a little bit more clearly here. In fact, I'm going to fast forward. I can skip ahead here. You'll see it's very hard to see probably on your view, but there's this faint gray bar that is increasing here as the video loads. It plays while it loads, but this gray bar increases. And when it gets all the way here, it's fully loaded. But anywhere in this loaded gray bar, I can skip ahead. You can see there's the screen from my laptop behind me. Skip ahead and see what's on the page. Here we go. So I just pause it in a place where we've taken what I'm doing on my laptop full screen, so it takes up the window here. It's still relatively small, especially if you've got a larger screen, and this only takes up a fraction of your screen that you're watching on. So you can take our video screen full screen, if you want to say screen a lot, but you can take this video full screen on your own device if you click full screen here, and it just blows it up full screen for you. A great way to be able to see very clearly what it is that the instructor is demonstrating. And on my computer, I just click escape to exit a full screen. It may be slightly different on your browser. You'll notice on the left, when I'm ready to go to the next item in the basic section, I've got the basic section loaded here for me. I don't have to click back to the Twitter course in order to get to the next item in this section. I just go down here to this assignment, and it says create a Twitter list. And speaking of assignments, you'll see that several of our class links actually have these hand and paper icons. Those are not video classes. Those are assignments that measure how well you've learned the material that we've taught in the classes. So next item on the list, I can click create a Twitter list, an assignment based on the class that I've just watched. So if I've just watched that class on creating a Twitter list, then I'm probably prepared to do the homework assignment that involves creating a Twitter list. I like to use this assignment as my typical demo assignment because we usually have one of two types of assignments that we provide throughout our courses. One is just a generic text entry where we offer you a little text box and you can type your answer right in there on the assignment. The second type of assignment that we usually have is an upload assignment. So we ask you to provide a spreadsheet or a document or a picture or something that represents what it is you're doing, those skills that you're learning, and we ask you to upload that. The reason I like to show you this class is because this assignment is because this assignment actually has both methods of submission to make sure that you've mastered this concept. So I'm going to click Edit My Submission. And again, here on this page, it reviews what the assignment is. I'm going to identify and follow 10 marketing executives and add them to a list. So in part one, again, as I mentioned, sometimes in our assignments we have just generic text entry here, and that's what I'm going to be doing in part one. I'm going to explain how I found the member. So I just type in here, explain here the part one answer. So, there we go. So I'm going to just put my answer number one in there, very simple. And then in part two, I'm going to upload a screenshot. Now a screenshot is a digital image that your computer takes of everything that is on your screen, not from your camera, not from your phone or anything, but it's an internal image of what you're looking at on your screen. And if you've never done one before, it just takes quick learning how to do that, and it's very easy after that once you've done it once. You can find out how to take a screenshot in our frequently asked questions up here in our support section, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But that is one of our FAQs. Very easy to do once you know how to do it, once you know how to take a screenshot. So that's what I'm going to do in part two here, is I'm going to send in an image file of my list to show that I've done it. What I recommend that you do is somewhere on your computer for your homework assignments, create a folder for all of your Splash Media assignments. That's what I've done here. I've created in my documents folder another folder called Splash Media U Assignments. And this is where I can just save all of my screenshots, my templates, my worksheets, everything that I compile to use throughout Splash Media U. I can put them into this folder, and then they're all easily accessible right from this one place. When I'm ready to upload it for my assignment, I can just click on the appropriate one and drag and drop it right into the rectangular window down here. I'm going to take it out of there because I don't really want to. But another idea behind this is that you're creating a portfolio for yourself as you go. So eventually, when you have this folder much fuller than I have it now, with a dozen or more assignments, essentially you've created a marketing portfolio for yourself to show the kinds of skills that you can do for clients and for your business. If for some reason the drag and drop option isn't working, you can always click Add and browse for it on your computer. But here, all the more reason to use the create a folder somewhere on your computer, so that when you click there and browse for it, it's very easy to find all of your assignments together in one place. Just make it easier on yourself. When I'm ready to move on, I click Save Changes. Now, I haven't submitted my assignment yet. I haven't submitted the assignment until I click Submit Assignment. When I save changes, that just means I can pick up where I left off, come back to it. I'm actually going to edit it one more time, and so that I'm ready for the next tour. I'm going to go ahead and delete my answer here so that it's blank when I do this tour again. But I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes. And again, from this screen, When I'm ready, when both requirements are met, I can click Submit Assignment. The assignments go to our instructors, and they grade them and get back to our students within 1 to 2 business days. So for example, if you turn in an assignment on Friday, it will be graded on Monday. If you turn in an assignment on Monday, typically it will be graded on Tuesday. Partially depends on how many assignments we have being turned in a given week, but usually that's our time frame. It's 1 to 2 business days. Once you've completed all of the assignments and watched all the classes for a course, the last thing you'll see is the exam for that course. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, past the Convert section, to the Twitter exam. The exams consist of 25 questions. These are multiple choice and true false. I'll click on the exam just to show you the first page here. And just like homework assignments, you can save your place and come back to them. So if you need to take a break from your exam, you can save and come back and click where it says continue the last attempt, which is what it says here in my demo account. So feel free to do that. We're not trying to stump you. This is an open book exam. So if you need to look something up, check something, we want you to have all the knowledge available to you and for you to do as well as you possibly can. So feel free to pause and come back to an exam if you need to. Here's the difference in grading between exams and assignments. And I apologize, we're going to be staring at the screen for a second here while I explain this. But both exams and assignments are graded on a scale where 80% or above is passing. So 80% or above, you can move on, nothing else required of you. 79 and below needs a resubmission because there's something that you haven't grasped. On an assignment, if you have below a perfect score, anything below a 100, we will explain to you what needs to be corrected if something needs to be corrected. If it's a 100, you're great and you've mastered the concept, ready to move on. If it's an 80, there may be something to improve, but you're ready to move on anyway. So when you, for example, in the Twitter list assignment, if you created a list of 5 people and we asked for a list of 10 people, if it's clear that you know how to create a list, but you didn't quite follow the directions exactly, we'll give you an 80. So you're ready to move on, but there was something to just watch out for in future assignments to make sure that you're reading each part carefully and understanding what the assignment is asking of you. But you're ready to move on. For assignments, there's really only one other grade to give you, which is a failing grade, because that triggers our system here to allow you to resubmit it, because we don't want you to fail anything. We want to give you every opportunity to turn in an assignment again and get a passing grade. So if you don't pass, you will simply get a 50. That's the one score we give for anything that fails on an assignment. So you'll get a 50 with an explanation of what you can do to fix it, and then you can submit it again to your instructor and then receive a passing grade. After assignments receive a 50 the first time, we only give 80s the second time, because there was something you didn't get quite right, but once you do, you'll get an 80 and you can pass and move on to the next assignment. With exams, though, exams are graded instantaneously by the system. They're 100% objective, and it's determined by how many of these multiple choice and true false questions you get right. And as you can see, our math here, you can get 20 correct answers out of the 25 and still pass. But it's graded immediately, so you get immediate feedback once you finally click submit on your exam, immediate feedback which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. If you get below an 80, same thing with the assignments. With the exams, we want you to have the opportunity to learn from it and pass. So we've built in a 24-hour window where you can go back into our classes, watch and review, pick up on some things you may have missed, and then take the exam again. The reason, it may seem obvious to you, the reason we build in the 24-hour window before you can take the exam again is because we don't want you to just take it and guess. We don't want you to guess what the answer is because you got them wrong the first time. We want you to actually know the answer and really excel and take the exam and pass with flying colors. So you've been staring at the screen for a while. Let me go back to the homepage, but I'm actually going to show you quickly the top part of the menu here, this top navigation. Our message system is a great way to interact with instructors and know what the latest is with the program itself, with the school. So for example, I created a message here a few months ago actually, where we recently added new classes, fresh updated classes. So I put that note in here as a message and send it out to all students. But it's also a great way to interact directly with me, with instructors. You can do that through the message system, and it stays here internally, and it's easy to see when you have a new message. There'll be a little flag up here at the top that says 1, 2, 3, however many number of unread messages you have. Our resource library is a great one-stop shop for everything that you'll find throughout the course. For example, we have, what's a good example here? We have here's a good one. We have some classes and some assignments that talk about developing a content plan for your marketing strategy. Well, within that class, or within that assignment where we ask you to create a content plan, there's a link to a content plan template. So you don't have to start from scratch on any of these things. You've got a template to work from to create your content plan. So that template link is located within that class and within that assignment. It's also located here in the resource library so that you can access all of these things at a glance. This is probably one of our most valuable places in the school, especially for those who can continue their education beyond graduation, because they can always come back to this library and use these resources for their businesses, for their clients. These are here for you to modify and use as you see fit. As I mentioned briefly before, our support tab is a great place to find answers to frequently asked questions. For example, how to take a screenshot. If you have problems viewing the video, some of those things are answered here. Of course, you can also open a new support ticket. We're happy for you to do that. We can address your question on a as needed basis or a one-off basis. Send us a support ticket, send us an email, give us a call. We're available during business hours, so you might as well call and be able to walk through it live with a real human being and have your question answered that way. This last thing up here on the navigation menu is what I recommend you start with when you first log in. Go ahead and take a look at your settings, make sure everything's correct, and also go ahead and upload a profile picture. Use whatever you use on LinkedIn is fine, or your Facebook profile picture, but it's great for us in the school to be able to connect a face with the name. So we would love for you to upload a profile picture there in your settings, but also just make sure all of your settings are correct and up to date so that everything in the school matches you. One more thing, well, two more things actually I'm going to show you that are not part of the individual certificates, but are part of the Master Social Media Certification, which is what most of our students are enrolled in. And those two things, which you'll see here, because that's what I'm demonstrating, are the seminars and the final exam. Let's go ahead and take a look at the seminars first. There's some material that we could talk briefly about in some of our courses, but really needed a full lecture style class of its own to get the information across. And those topics are campaign management, social media ROI, return on investment, the tactical wheel, which we talked about, those 5 tactics, and then search engine optimization. Again, these are things that we do touch on in various classes, but really deserve a full lecture on their own. So each of these is a 60-minute lecture packed with great material from, some of these are from our founder, Paul Slack, some of these are from me, some of these are from our resident experts, but these are pre-recorded just like the other classes and available to watch anytime, but they are a required part of Master Social Media Certification. And we measure your intake on those. We grade you based on these quizzes, and these are not, we call them quizzes because they're not as long as the 25 question exams. These are just 10 questions each, just covering the material that you've learned. So if you've watched the social media ROI seminar, you will have no problem taking the social media ROI quiz. All that material, again, based on what you just learned in the hour-long seminar. Last thing I want to touch on is the final exam. And this is just to let you know, for those of you enrolled in Master Social Media Certification, the final exam page here, this just consists of instructions on how to get the final exam. We don't include it automatically, but when you're ready to take it, these are the steps you follow to get access to the final exam. What it basically means is you go through each course, and I'll use Foundations as an example. you go through each course and make sure that your progress bar is completely full. So at the top of each course, you may have noticed this with Twitter, you see your activities completed progress bar up here, and I'm a little bit more than halfway done with this particular course. I can even click in, and this is what we need you to do when you're done, is click in here and check that each of these statuses says completed. So here I've got this one, this assignment is completed, completed, not completed, failed, so I have to go back and do this one again because I didn't quite get the concept there, but completed, not completed, not completed. So each one of these needs to say completed before you can take the final exam. We need completed status in every one of the courses, and that'll show that you're ready to take the final and graduate. That is our whirlwind tour. That's basically the school in a nutshell, each little component all working together to provide what we hope is the best possible student experience. I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to the webinar here, the Hangout. I'm going to turn on the Q&A section here on Google Plus Hangout. So if you have questions, please go ahead and ask them now. Of course, we're available via email, via our support interface, and over the phone if you want to ask us questions after the fact. But if you're viewing this webinar on Google Plus, if you're viewing as a Hangout, which it is through Google, there should be a little tic-tac-toe looking icon at the top of the screen. It's 9 little white squares, kind of looks like a tic-tac-toe board. If you click there, one of the options in that menu is Q&A. Open up Q&A, that's how you can ask me questions right here live during the Hangout. If you're not viewing on Google Plus, if you're viewing on our YouTube channel or through our website where YouTube is embedded, if one of those two places is where you're viewing, you'll need to get to Google Plus if you have a question. So there should be an overlay on that video window that says something like, click here to join this broadcast live, something to that effect. If you click that, that will open up Google Plus Hangouts, and then you can follow the directions as I just mentioned. There's a little tic-tac-toe type icon at the top, little white squares, click there. One of the options is Q&A. So I'll stay on for another couple of seconds here, but again, on behalf of everyone here at Splash Media, you want to either welcome you to the program if you're just getting started, or encourage you to follow up and ask us more questions if you have any questions about enrollment, or you're curious about different aspects of the program or how you can use them for your career. We're happy to talk to you about those. Looks like we don't have any questions coming through, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for joining us.